The Roman Empire, a civilization so vast, so powerful, and so influential that even 2,000 years later we still build, think, and govern in its shadow. But how did a small city on the banks of the Tiber River rise to control most of the known world? And more importantly, what led to its spectacular fall? Today we're covering the entire history of the Roman Empire, from dirt huts to marble palaces, from Julius Caesar to the fall of Constantinople, in just 10 minutes. Buckle up, because all roads lead to Rome. Legend says Rome was founded in 753 BCE by twins, Romulus and Remus, raised by a wolf. Yet one brother killed the other, became king, and named the city after himself, Rome. That story might be more myth than fact, but it captures something essential. Rome was born from violence, ambition, and destiny. Originally, Rome was just a small settlement of farmers and shepherds, surrounded by bigger powers, Etruscans to the north, Greeks to the south. But Rome had something different, a will to adapt. When they were ruled by kings, the Romans got tired of monarchy, so they kicked the kings out and formed the Roman Republic in 509 BCE. And this is where Rome's real story begins. In theory, the Republic was government by the people. In reality, it was a political tug-of-war between the rich patricians and the common plebeians. They created a complex system, consuls, a senate, and assemblies, meant to prevent any one man from gaining too much power. Ironically, that's exactly what would later destroy it. Rome started expanding, first across Italy, then across the Mediterranean. They fought wars with everyone, most famously the Punic Wars against Carthage. Imagine this. A Carthaginian general named Hannibal leads war elephants, yes, elephants, across the Alps to invade Italy. It almost worked, but in the end, Rome crushed Carthage, burned it to the ground, and salted the earth so nothing would grow again. Rome had become the superpower of the ancient world, but with power came corruption. As Rome conquered more land, a few men became unbelievably rich, while soldiers returning from war found themselves poor and homeless. Social unrest exploded. Then came Julius Caesar, a military genius and master politician. He conquered Gaul, won the love of the people, and terrified the Senate. When they ordered him to disband his army, Caesar famously crossed the Rubicon River, a literal point of no return, and declared war on Rome itself. He won. He declared himself dictator for life. And a few years later, he was assassinated, stabbed 23 times by senators, including his friend Brutus. Et tu, Brute? The Republic was dead. But out of the chaos, an empire was about to rise. After years of civil war, Caesar's adopted son Octavian defeated his rivals, took the title Augustus, and became Rome's first emperor in 27 BCE. He was careful not to call himself king, but make no mistake, he was. Under Augustus, Rome entered a 200-year period of relative peace called the Pax Romana, the Roman peace. During this time, Rome built roads stretching across continents, aqueducts that carried fresh water, and monumental architecture like the Colosseum and Pantheon. Roman law, engineering, and culture spread everywhere. The empire stretched from Britain to Egypt, from Spain to Mesopotamia. At its peak, over 70 million people lived under Roman rule, nearly a fifth of the world's population at the time. But peace and power come with a price. Rome's success made it decadent and dependent on conquest to survive. As expansion slowed, the economy faltered. Corruption grew. Emperors came and went, some good, like Trajan and Marcus Aurelius, and some absolutely disastrous, like Caligula and Nero, who allegedly played music while Rome burned. Meanwhile, a new religion was quietly spreading, Christianity. At first, the empire persecuted it. But in 313 CE, Emperor Constantine legalized Christianity and moved the capital east, founding a new city. Constantinople. This moment would shape the next 1,000 years of history. By the 4th and 5th centuries, Rome was crumbling from within. Political chaos, economic collapse, and constant invasions by so-called barbarian tribes. In 410 CE, the unthinkable happened. Rome was sacked by the Visigoths. Imagine living in the greatest city on earth, only to see it burned and looted. Finally, in 476 CE, the last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was overthrown. The Western Roman Empire had fallen. But the story doesn't end there. While the West fell, the Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire, continued for nearly another 1,000 years. It preserved Roman law, Greek culture, and Christian faith, a bridge between the ancient and medieval worlds. Its greatest emperor, Justinian the Great, tried to reconquer the old Roman lands and built the stunning Hagia Sophia, which still stands today. But even the Byzantines couldn't last forever. In 1453, the Ottoman Turks captured Constantinople, and with it, the last remnant of Rome finally fell. But here's the thing. Rome never truly disappeared. Its laws shaped Western legal systems. Its architecture inspired everything from cathedrals to Capitol buildings. Its language, Latin, evolved into French, Spanish, Italian, and more. Even our calendars, our alphabets, and our ideas of government trace back to Rome. When you think about it, every empire since has tried, in some way, to be Rome. The Holy Roman Empire, the British Empire. Even the United States borrows from Roman ideals of a republic. Rome may have fallen, but it never stopped influencing the world. So that's the entire history of the Roman Empire. In 10 minutes. A story of ambition, genius, corruption, and legacy. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, which empire should we cover next? The Mongols? The British? Maybe the Internet Empire? Because as Rome taught us, nothing lasts forever. But stories? Stories do.